This is Iniyaval Rajni from Tamil Nadu, Chennai, and I'm here to share a few thought points about The Family Man 2, which you are all excited to see in Amazon Prime. The teaser was awesome. The music was really beautiful. The compilation was awesome. And the Tiwari was very natural. Samantha was intense. Yep, it was beautiful. But then, the beauty is deceptive. We Tamils feel that there is an intention behind that teaser, especially the teaser being released on May 18th. Do you know what significance May 18th has for the Tamils? Why May 18th? And why LTT represented in the teaser? Why do you want to do a fiction about something that is so close to Tamil's heart? Yes, the first part was discriminating the Muslims, the Kerala Muslims. I'm surprised that the Kerala Brethren have never questioned about it. The Kerala Brethren, the Muslims, the original people of this land are being shown as the IS, are being shown as the antagonist, while the protagonist is a raw agent. I think it has a relevance to the CAA, where it was the Muslims and the Tamil Eazhams targeted. These were the only two people who were not allowed asylum into India. And when the Tamils were questioning about why not our people, the entire scenario died down. But I think this particular series is intentionally created to put in the minds of people that Tamils are terrorists. We do not agree to that. We are not comfortable with that portrayal because it is not the truth. It is never the truth. And then to identify IS with Tamil rebels. There is a statement that there is some kind of alleged contract going on between IS and the rebels. IS is totally an American thing. It is created for their own benefit. But this Tamil LTT is purely for the people, for the protection of the fringe group that is being targeted, that is being victimized, that is being crushed. Yes, there were many in the comment section that were telling this is only a fiction. Why take it close to your heart? Okay, when it is a series like Harry Potter, okay, it is not real. You really do not take it to heart. You just watch, enjoy, maybe in your subconscious, you kind of go into your dreamland. But this is truth. You have shown the Yarpanam dialect, the Sri Lankan Tamil dialect. The girl, Raji, speaks that. And then she wears a uniform. And there are people around her with uniform. And LTT is the only organization, the only military force that was using this. And you also show people like ruffians around her. What are you portraying us Tamils to be? As harsh people? As rough people? Do I look like one? Does Sundar Pichai look like one? What is this antagonism all about? What are you trying to portray? The people there, the Hindi belt, does not know what is happening in Tamil Nadu. They do not know our history. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to push into their subconscious that we are terrorists? Are you trying to amplify your resentment? We are totally disappointed. We are sad. We are sad that this is a group that can take advantage of us. That you could do something so ruthless. Who is LTT? Who do you think trained this group? Who do you think was the first trainer? It was the Honorable late Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Can we compare her to Pakistan? That she was the one who created the terrorist group? Could we say that? Would it be right? Yes, initially everyone wanted to help. But then they knew that this Tamil community could actually grow. And they wanted to suppress. The world leaders wanted to suppress. And what did they do? And why did they suppress? Do you know the reason? There's this place called Hamantota. The Chinese wanted the help from Mr. Prabhakaran to, to actually lay a port there for themselves. But this man, this leader, refused it. What do you think would be the reason? He said the Indians would be threatened by their presence so close, with the port so close. I cannot allow that. He had such love for us. The Americans, I hear that he was offered about 30,000 crores to give observatory place on Trigonamalai. He refused because he said that the observatory would allow the Americans to have access to everything that's happening in south of India. Every plane, they will have a count of every plane that flies. They'll have a count of every signals. They will be able to get all that we talk. They will be able to get what we are doing, the entire country, the entire half of country is doing. They will have access. They will be able to see that. That's a point which is much above, and they will be able to watch us. And again, that is dangerous for us Indians, for us South people. And he said no to that. So the world turned his back on him. And what happened finally? And what do you think LTTE did there? It was a military force. It had schools, it had hospitals, it had post offices, it had police stations, it had everything. The military was managing everything that a country would. They were trying to regain their spot, their land in that Eazham. All they were trying to do was that. And why did they do that? Because the settlers, the Sri Lankan settlers, these people were slowly foraying into the land of the Tamils. They were eating into the rights of the Tamils. There came a point when they started harassing the Tamil race there. There came a time when the women were treated very badly. Do you know that their breasts were cut off, and these people even tried to say that the breasts of Tamil women are for sale. There was also instances where the word dog, nai, was written on their breast with a knife. There were times when the fetuses were pulled out of women's womb and trampled upon with the boots. What worse can happen? Can you imagine this? Can you imagine the trauma and the pain of the Tamil people there? Most people think that Tamil people had gone there to work and they are claiming a land. No, that was not true. Eazham was and is the Tamil people's land. It is the Sri Lankans, it is they, the settlers, who had actually usurped most of their land and their rights and everything. Who is there to ask a question about it? No one. So this man, Velupillai Prabhakaran, the man that I really love, the man that I really honor. Why? Because every military force is around the world. Watch them. The drinks, the hot drinks are supplied. They smoke. Raping the women of the defeated country is a norm for certain military forces. Using the women of the country is also allowed in certain countries. The military people has certain things that is not of actually a beautiful culture, but it is allowed. But here is a military force. Here is a military force that does not smoke, that does not drink, that is very disciplined, that does not treat the woman that does not treat the women badly, that honors the women. That is the kind of military he had. The Sri Lankans would bomb the schools of the Eazham. The Sri Lankans would bomb the hospitals. There were times when the Eazham Tamil were actually cornered, and they did not get their food, medicine. They did not get anything. The Sri Lankans would keep them. Even with given ample chances, the LTTE did not bomb one school, did not bomb one hospital, did not harm the women of Sri Lanka, did not harm children of Sri Lanka. Their fight was ethical. The war ethics were followed to the point. There was even an incident when a Sri Lankan army man was captured, and his wife was fully pregnant. She was in her final months. She came back to our Mr. Velupillai Prabhakaran and asked him to release him for the sake of the kid. And this man released him. That's the kind of a soul he is. The entire scenario was about protecting the people. And today you call these people terrorists. Yes, there are many of you who says, no, Samantha is not that. With the uniform and with the Yarpanam dialect, it is very easily known that it is talking about LTT. Why would it be any different? I'm saddened and surprised by Samantha's acceptance towards this role. Why should she do it? Especially she was much loved and she had her first scope in Tamil Nadu. I'm surprised. Okay, there could be a turn of events in the entire series. No, I do not want it. Primarily because you have an antagonist and you have a protagonist. The protagonist is a raw agent, is an NIA, whereas the antagonist is the rebels. And what do you tell? There is a connection between IS and the rebels. What are you trying to tell? What are you trying to put in the minds of people? I'm asking this to the directors. What are you trying to push into the mind of people? That IS and LTT are having a coalition? How cheap. What a cheap shot it is. Totally disagreeable, totally unethical, and totally biased, totally spiteful. When the peacekeeping force had come into Sri Lanka, into the Eazham Tamil territory, the Tamil people were overjoyed. They welcomed them with such pomp. They believed that they will be the saviors. And what happened? This peacekeeping force turned against and killed more than 10,000 people. And there were moments when they were stripped naked. Every girl, every man, every woman were stripped naked and made to walk with their hands up. Such dehumanizing, it's beyond words to express the sadness and the vulnerability they would have felt. A daughter naked in front of the father, a son naked in front of the mother, and the rapes that happened. That beautiful girl, Isai Priya, being tormented, the videos were out. The girls were raped. The women were raped, killed, massacred in the most disgusting way. How many of you know that? You want these Tamil people to sit quietly for all those cruelty thrown to them? Is that what you're trying to tell? For them to revolt and fight for their rights, is that called terrorism? No. Us watching, us promoting these kind of series and labeling them as terrorism is the real terrorism. That is a real terrorism. I know it. Most of the time, the concept of Indian, be Indian, love everybody. Why is that we are being targeted? Many from the north come and settle down in our Tamil Nadu. They buy lands. They have a peaceful life here. We are the most hospitable community that you can ever find. We are the people who embrace everyone. But why is this injustice meted out to us? Who would question it? And why is it that these kind of series are taken? There were times when even movies, put the Tamil people down. Madrasis. Labeling as Madrasis. And you call yourselves human. This is terrorizing. I call upon you, all my dear Hindi friends, the North friends, if you think India has to be united, every region's dignity has to be upheld. No lies can be passed, even in the form of fiction. No lies can be passed. It is unfair to propagate these kind of lies. It is unfair for us to accept and take it as a very big. It's a nemesis that we have to overthrow. Are you with us? I'm asking you. Are you with us? Will you boycott the series? There are many series. Watch them. But we, your brethren and Indians, Show us that you care for us. Show us. Unsubscribe if you can. Boycott the series. Tell them they cannot give content against one particular regional people, one particular race. Show them. We are there to fight for you. Are you there to fight for us? Will you stand with us? Will you stand with us? It's a question I'm throwing to you. Thank you.